down.
Alright, hi everyone, I'm Bryan Bielanski from Anguish, and this is part 2 of how to play guitar and bass at the same time. Basically, I'm just going to recapitulate the first video and explain things a little more. So here's the setup right here. I built this out of plywood. I got the little hinges and handles here that I put on there, just, drill, Of course, if you want to build something yourself, there's many easier ways to do this. But, I like to go all out with stuff. So anyway, play a lot of live shows, as some of you probably know, with the band. So this is I'm going to try and do the quick setup, explain to everybody exactly what I'm going to do here. So let's take this off first thing. Off the lid here. This is basically all the bass stuff right here. We've got synthesizer pedal, the octave pedal, which pretty much creates the bass sound. I've got a noise suppressor here because all these pedals definitely create a little buzz. I've got a mute in case I want to turn the bass off and only have guitar. And then I've got a loop pedal so I can play guitar solos while the bass is still going. So last time I didn't have this one. This is the analog setup, so I'll explain this in a minute. Basically, what I've got here is a bass pickup sideways on here to this this guitar, and this actually works perfect for this setup because the Rickenbackers have 2 output jacks. So I've got one that goes to the guitar and one that goes to the bass. Of course, I'll get into that later. We're starting with the guitar from the last video, which is the GK3 right here. You have to special order these online, the GK3 Rollins. So basically, we're gonna get started as if I was at a show about to set all this stuff, and sound guys want you to set stuff up quick, so I'll try to roll through this as quick as I can, as if I was at an actual show. So I know all this looks intimidating, but it's really easy, and like I said, you don't have to have all of this stuff. I just like a lot of special effects and whatnot. So, well, the first thing we do, we take this 13-pin MIDI cable. Another thing you have to order online. They don't sell these at the stores. 13 pins there. So, you plug this into the GK. You'll notice that this, the actual guitar output is going into that because it's going to send the actual guitar through to the guitar amps. So we plug in this. This goes into the splitter, which then sends the signals to both my synthesizer pedal, the GR20, and the octave pedal, the DC20G. Alright, so I'm going to put this down for a minute now that I have that all set up. And the next thing we got is, this is going to be the bass cable. As you can see, I have it attached to the output on the noise suppressor. So that's going to go into my bass amp, which is over here. Do the input there. Then we're going to plug in the synthesizer pedal to my PA, which is over here. Plug that in. We'll go ahead and turn that on.
Red button.
Alright.
Now you stopped.
So that's on. Alright, and then finally here, we're going to plug the guitar out into my guitar board, which is over here. So this is basically all the bass and GK3 stuff on this board. Keep it separate from all the guitar effects, which are over here in this pedal board. So, take the guitar out, which is on that synthesizer pedal. We plug that right here into my tuner. And then I got all my effects pedals. Once again, I'd like to reiterate that you don't have to have such a big setup. You could easily use one distortion pedal and one octave pedal for this GK3 setup. Let's see. Next, we've got my, once again, another noise suppressor because all these can tend to create a big buzz. So I take this from the output. As you can see, I've got these all daisy chained to where the noise suppressor goes to all these different pedals. I'll go through them in more detail once I actually have everything on. So we plug this one in here to my guitar amp. Now, just like in the last video, my second guitar amp is in the shop. It keeps breaking. So I've got this little one as a substitute because I always like to run 2 amps. When you're only one person playing guitar and bass, it's great to use 2 amps. So I have the output from the noise suppressor, and I also have the double output coming out of this flanger pedal to go into your second amplifier, which we're just going to use this tiny little baby amp for the purposes of demonstration. All right, once those are plugged in, as you can see, I wind up all my chords because with such a convoluted setup, and like I said, when you're at shows, the sound guys usually look at me like, oh God, what has this guy got here? So then what we have here is two power chords that I duct taped together. One's from the chromatic tuner and one's from the noise suppressor. So we come back over here to my bass pedal where I plug these in, because that's where I've got this power strip that I've gorilla glued down here. Excuse me, Trevor. Thanks for doing the camera work, by the way. Doing a good job so far, of course. All right, so I plug these in here. Now it's also very important, as you can see here, I have this one power source. Everything needs to be plugged into one thing. I've played at places where they weren't all plugged into one thing and we got some horrible buzzes. Had a lot of sound guys mad at me until I figured out as long as you have everything going through one power source, you're in good shape. So we plug this, so this right now powers everything on both boards. So I'm just gonna plug that into our power source, turn this on, and voila, everything starts to come on here. Now it's very important you turn the pedals on first before you turn on your amps. It said that in the manual that it can burn the amps out because these are all like weird electronic components. All right, so first I'm gonna turn on my bass amp. All right, then second I'll turn on this guitar amp. And third, I'll turn on this little amp. We're gonna pretend it's a big amp. All right, so cut all this off real quick. And then next, I've got all my volumes turned down too. That's a very important thing. You wanna make sure all the volumes on your amps are turned down once you turn all these things on. So then I'm gonna put it up here, turn up the bass, turn up the guitar, put on here. You see now that the GK3 is lit up. We make sure that I've got mix on here.
What is that?
Yeah, it's on now. Isn't that cool, Trevor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All right. So as you can hear,
Whoa.
I've got guitar and bass going at the same time. If I want just guitar, I step on this mute button here. This is a Rapco AB100, the connection. So
I want to try.
after the video, Trevor, you got it. So on, off, on, off. Say I want just bass and no guitar. That's where the tuner comes in. I just step on the tuner and I've got just bass. See, we got the pickup right here from the GK3. All right. So once we get all that stuff going, I'll just go on through. As you can see, this splitter here, we'll try. Let's say I want some weird sound effects. I got all kinds of good fun stuff on this. There's get some weird spacey ambient stuff and whatnot. Some weird spacey ambient stuff. Some more weird, creepy stuff. Like some synthesizer jazz. Yeah. This doesn't have much to do with playing guitar and bass at the same time, but this is just all my fun stuff. right, so then when I want to turn the synthesizer stuff off, there's the pedal. All right, now we get to the meat and potatoes here, bass and guitar. So here, this DC26, as you can see, what we've got here, you can turn all the strings on or all of them off. Let's say I want a little bit more bass to cut through, I got this booster right here. All right, now I have the ability to turn all these strings on or off. I can put all 6, or I can put just the E string if I want to strum like some bar chords. Then, or if I want to do a bunch of single note stuff like, let's see here. So then also, if I want to do a solo, I've got that stuff right here. Turn the guitar off and just put some bass here. I've got my loop pedal down here. So when I'm doing a song, I'll just go hit the loop. You basically do the chord thing. Here we go. Then you hit the loop again and now it's going by itself. And then I can do some solo stuff here. Like this. Got my little loop FS5U, which turned the loop off when I want to turn it off. When I want to turn it back on, I just hit that loop thing again, and then the loop's back. I will say though, it's best to do these loops on the fly. Like you'll want to just play the chord progression right before you go into the solo, because sometimes it can get tricky. Good job, Trevor. Got our Trevor's gonna be playing xylophone on the next album. All right, so this is all the bass stuff. Now we just move on to the guitar. It's pretty easy. I've just got all this stuff. I got the noise suppressor here.
It looks like there.
And I've got my distortion. Got my chorus.
I got my head.
Oh, look, see, here's the thing too with this, you'll forget to turn, like, you know, some songs where you're playing chords, you'll only want the E string, so you'll definitely have to remember to go back to just having the E string on the bass, whereas before I had all the strings turned on when I was playing songs that had a bunch of single notes. So and then I got my digital delay, of course. Another fun thing that works for solos, see, when you're your own bass player, you got to come up with some stuff for solos. Like, sometimes I'll just hit this phaser here. Sometimes I'll hit the harmonizer here, it creates a pretty cool effect for a solo. Use that for solos. And then of course I got my flanger here. which is use that for my spacey songs. And there you go. Basically, there's your setup. You're playing bass and guitar at the same time. Yeah. Now, once again, this was what I originally used, and then I really missed my Rickenbacker here, so I outfitted this. Now, let's say I wanted to switch this whole setup from this guitar using the GK3 to using just this with the real bass pickup in it and go to an analog kind of deal. So here's what I do basically. First of all, you want to mute everything so that there's no weird sounds. And once again, the sound guy's gonna hate you. Sound guys usually do, except for the cool ones. All right, so I turn on the tuner to mute the guitar. I turn on my muter here to mute the bass there. Set this down. Leave all that plugged in. Grab this guitar. Put on this guitar, and like I said, now this has 2 outputs, so it's perfect for this. So really quickly, what I'm going to do is take this plug that was plugged into the octave pedal, the DC20G, unplug that real quick. So you'll need 1 extra cord here to make this work. So the bottom output here is the bass. So I plug that in there, take the other end, really quickly, disconnect the GK3 stuff. This right here is the link line to all this GK3 stuff. So that's all gone. Now we're putting this in here. And there we go, we got our bass. Now it's only going to be picking up the E and the A strings. This is a lot less sensitive than the GK3 stuff, so I'm going to jack up the volume a little bit here. But nothing on those strings. So you do have some limitations with this because it's only giving you E and A string, but it also gives you a lot more natural organic sound since it's an actual, Rickenbacker bass pickup there. So now it's also not quite as bassy. You can play around with these if you like, but what I tend to do is just I've got the bass turned all the way up on the amp and the treble turned all the way down. Help it out a little bit. So I do that, then I disconnect this guitar out cord here and plug that back in to the Rickenbacker, and now all of a sudden I'm playing bass and guitar on this. You can also, and then, oh crap. Here, hold on a minute. I'll fix this. I forgot to put the thing in there. Hold on, everybody.
Why?
Whoa.
Here, let me go turn the light back on real quick. Alright, that's all better now. Okie doke.
What just happened?
It's all back.
So, once again, you want to turn the guitar off, you just hit that. You want to turn the bass off, you hit your mute, and then you still got your and there you have it, my crazy setup to play guitar and bass at the same time. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments below. Please subscribe to the channel because that'll help me out. help out the cause for anguish and extensive entertainment. And good luck building your own board. You know, if you need any advice, yeah, let me know. If you need some consultations on building your own stuff, those are available too. So, thanks to Trevor, the cameraman, and his dad, the assistant cameraman. Thank you. There you go. Here, why don't you wave to the camera, Nate? There's no mirror in my last studio. There we go. All right, make your cameo. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Once again, I'm Brian from Anguish. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.